right, guys, now we're going to demonstrate a stand pivot transfer. So your patient's going to be using a walker to help them stand, come into standing, and use it to help them pivot over into the wheelchair. If you're doing a walker, a good rule of thumb is the handle will be at their wrist level for an appropriate height. A stand pivot can also be done without an assistive device. So you can either stand to the side of the patient or in front of the patient to help them pivot over. But since we're using the walker for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to stand to the side. All right, so with this, you want to make sure your patient isn't putting both hands on the walker, because if they do that to pull up, it could tip backwards and they can fall backwards. So if they need to have a hand on the walker, you can allow them to use one hand to push up and one to hold onto if they need that support. If not, if they're able to push up with both hands and then put their hands on the walker, that's very ideal as well. If your patient has a tendency to pull even with one hand, if that's what they're comfortable with, if you're able to, either you provide the support pressing down into the walker or get a second person for help. All right, so with this, you want to make sure your patient's at a good height. I'm actually going to lift the bed up a little bit for my patient because she's a little bit taller, just to help get a little bit of a boost. All right. So gait belt's on, she has good proper shoes, nice footwear on, the walker is in place. So with this, I'm just gonna have my foot kind of in front of hers in case she starts to slip and go forward, I'll be there to block. So what I'm gonna have you do is we're gonna get up to stand. So if you can put both hands on the bed, just like that. You're already scooted forward nicely, so that's perfect. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you lean forward, kind of having your nose over toes, and we're gonna push up to stand, okay? Yep. And then hold on to that walker. Good. How are you feeling? You feeling nice and steady?
Yep.
Good. All right, I'm just actually going to kick this wheel a little bit more. There you go. We're actually going to take a small step and we're just going to step forward, and now we're going to start to turn, stepping backwards to the chair. Now don't sit back yet, okay? Bring that walker with you a little bit more. Good. Do you feel the chair against your legs?
Yep.
Okay. Now that you feel both legs against the chair, I'll have you go ahead and reach back with your hand, nice and slow, and then we're going to reach back to sit, nice and controlled. Good, just like that, perfect. You did great. And then another way you can do it without the walker, if you're on the side without the walker, it'd be about the same, but you can do it without a walker, do it in stand pivot if need be. So you'll have your patient scoot forward. If they're not able to, you can use the pad or a sheet underneath to help shift their pelvis forward. Have their feet underneath them, so their feet are more underneath their knees, and have them lean forward and push up if they're able to. All right, so we're going to push up to stand. Good. All right, and now we're just going to do a little bit of a shimmy. Stepping back. Do you feel both legs against the bed?
Yes.
All right, we're going to do a squat and try to reach back. You can hold on to that wheelchair if you need to help lower down. And then it'll look like that for a stand pivot without a device.